Hey everyone, MTAShed here, and today I wanted to talk about the Season of Dawn. On December 10th, there is going to be new content for us to play, and as the season rolls out, we're going to get new pieces of content such as exotic quests, different bosses for the new Sundial activity, as well as other little secrets and PvP changes along the way. So, let's dive in, let's talk about what we know, and what to expect from Season of Dawn. So for number one on the list, and one of the main points of this season, is saving Saint 14. Now, you might think he's just a helmet, but no, there's a guy behind it. He's stuck in a time paradox, we're going to save him, and it's supposed to be a badass story of one of the most badass characters in the game. The quick and dirty story is Scion Flayers from the Cabal army have tried to take over time. They are attempting to rewrite history and rewrite the Red War that we fought with the Cabal. Now, we don't know how long this quest is going to be, but they did reference at another point in the live stream that we're going to be going to different locations like the Tangled Shore, so expect to roam around different areas, do some different missions, and this could probably be 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7 missions to complete. Now, you might notice that Rusted Lands is back, and we'll talk about that later, but the next thing I want to talk about is exotics. There are 2 exotic quests from what you can see on the timeline, which I'm posting here. The first exotic quest is on January 7th, the next one on January 28th. Now, with Christmas and New Year's and stuff like that thrown into the mix, I'm sure that they wanted to launch them at a time when people will actually be playing and hyped up, so I understand that. But looking at this calendar, I do have some worries. Other than the Imperium Foundation, which I don't know what the hell that is, a lot of the stuff is very similar to things we've seen before, but that is one activity that stands out because I don't think they've really talked about that. So on February 4th, there appears to be something new, but what the hell is that? There is some Iron Banner thrown into the mix, the Dawning is starting, which might have a cool activity that we haven't seen yet, and there is Crimson Days in February, but that means that this season is pushing into February, even into March, and I don't know how much content this truly is. Yes, they're changing the bosses of the Sundial activity, but if there isn't different loot pools and awesome stuff to chase, a lot of people don't actually care about new bosses that much. I mean, they changed the boss of the new Undying Mind activity, the Vex Offensive, and people were pissed because it didn't change the mechanics that much, it didn't bring anything new to the activity, and if you're not bringing new guns, there's no reason to play it. They need to be cool, awesome mechanics, new bosses, almost raid-like, or people won't care. Or there has to be some kick-ass weapons to chase, or people won't care. Iron Banner has historically been pretty bad in Destiny 2, and people aren't loving it, and unless they bring some awesome new weapons, almost no one is going to care. Yep, you can get some new armor if you want to look cool, but weapons are very important for Iron Banner, and I feel like it's been very lackluster and unimpressive. Crimson Days has also been pretty lackluster, other than some visual stuff like sparrows and shaders and maybe some emblems and stuff like that. There isn't usually any amazing guns associated with Crimson Days, so I feel like that's a week of meh content that not a lot of people are going to interact with, especially if it's PvP focused, because the sandbox isn't in the best state. Or is it? We do know that they're making some big changes to some of the solar subclasses in the game, but we don't know all the patch notes just yet. They might make some huge sweeping changes to different gear that makes it less annoying, such as the mountaintop, but they just haven't referenced it. We know for sure that the Recluse is getting nerfed, and the One-Eyed Mask is getting nerfed. Who knows what else they like to change? But there's another big thing that's changing, and that's the artifact, as well as the Armor 2.0 system. Now, they aren't changing the Armor 2.0 system, but they're adding a new feature which is very interesting and might be incredible to play with in both PvP and PvE. Specifically PvE though, because it seems like it's going to be more tuned towards that. So let's dive into the artifact really quickly. Barrier champions, unstoppable champions, even the overload champions are all still in the game, but the weapons you need to shut them down are going to change. You better start holding on to pulse rifles, scout rifles, sniper rifles, bows, even auto rifles, because, well, that's the meta. They're making a lot of focus towards those weapons in this new sandbox, a lot more ranged weapons, a lot of perks associated with things like auto rifles and sniper rifles and things like that, which is actually going to be a huge buff to the Izanagi's Burden. They're getting a enhanced sniper loader, which is going to be amazing for that weapon, and I'm definitely excited for it. But I definitely need to start hoarding some weapons because I am behind on a few of these. Now, at the end of the artifact, there are some very similar looking perks, but we weren't able to see them all just yet. But I would expect that solar classes are going to be the meta in this update. It's the Season of Dawn. They kind of mentioned that solar is going to be very good, and it appears there is still some sort of overload type grenade for solar classes, as well as even like a solar battery. But there's one that was very interesting in the top right corner. Guardian Angel grants a chance of generating healing orbs when you get precision kills using scout rifles, sniper rifles, bows, and linear fusion rifles. You could be the ultimate healing class even if you're on a hunter or a titan, but if you want to go balls to the wall with support class, you could jump in with that middle tree Dawnblade, do the Well of Radiance, and heal up everyone while doming people with your sniper. This is pretty cool, and maybe there's going to be some awesome other support class stuff, but not sure just yet. Now, as I said before, the Armor 2.0 system is getting some new mods. The new Season of Dawn stuff will have empowered or charged light bonuses. That means that when you do certain activities, you will get a charge of light, and you'll have other mods that can expend them. So you can see that these are empowered finishers, get charged with light, get charged with precision kills, but these ones expend them. While charged with light, you gain significant damage reduction against combatants when your shield is destroyed. It consumes your stacks of charged light. The more stacks you consume, the longer the damage resistant lasts. Now, this is only one example, and this is a 2-cost mod. There's also a 3-cost and a 4-cost. Maybe these are even better. Maybe these are drastically better, top-tier damage-dealing perks. Maybe they give you unlimited grenades. Who knows what the heck these could be? But if you can stack up your charges of light and then proc these, this might be the new meta in PvE. This might be the ultimate way to do damage, or solo dungeons, or defeat raid bosses. We don't know quite yet what all these mods will be, but this is a whole new feature. This is a whole new level of depth in our builds. You might want to sacrifice other stuff like loader perks or maybe unflinching perks so that you can have stuff like this. And I'm guessing slotting these into your chest armor is going to be one of the best picks for you. Now, the next big thing they showed off was the Sundial. They showed off part of the activity, and it does look pretty intense. It's not just a horde mode, but there are some mechanics you need to deal with. It looked pretty cool, for sure. I'm excited to try it out myself. But the big thing is they didn't reveal any rewards for this. There are rewards, they just didn't show them. So we don't know what the heck you're going to get. Is there cool armor? Is there cool weapons? Are there tons of weapons? Are there the best meta top tier stuff? We have no idea. But the activity did look pretty intense. There are multiple different champions like barrier and unstoppable champions that you're going to need to deal with. So going in with a fire team is going to be the best. But the normal mode, basic mode, is a match-made activity. So you can run this just like the Vex Offensive, find people to play with, and enjoy the activity for yourself. But with the legendary mode, which is coming out later on, it will require a fire team just like the Menagerie on hard mode. And that's probably an okay thing because these activities can get pretty crazy on the heroic difficulty or the legendary difficulty, so you probably want a team that has all the weapons and gear that you need to beat it, so you're not smashing your face against it for 45 minutes trying to whittle down a boss. Visually, the activity looks pretty cool. There is some mechanics, and it appears that it has a progress system similar to the Menagerie. You can see that the bar there on the left side of the screen is almost identical to the Menagerie, so there might be multiple rooms, multiple activities, multiple mechanics, which would definitely be a good thing. And like the Menagerie, it's rumored that you can choose what sort of rewards you get. We just don't know how many rewards there will be. Overall, this looks good, and I mean, people loved the Menagerie, so if this is an awesome activity with rotating bosses and different mechanics, this might be an awesome activity for a lot of people. I just don't know how long it will last. I hope that it can keep people engaged. I hope there is some top tier stuff you can get from this. If not, it's going to be a little bit disappointing. As for PvP, other than Rusted Lands coming back, we didn't hear a lot. There are going to be sandbox changes, we know this, but Trials of Osiris was not announced, and that's something that people were begging for and hoping for because it's the Season of Dawn. Now, there's one thing I want to talk about with that. Trials of Osiris is popular. I know that people want it, but if the sandbox is absolutely trash like it currently is, Trials won't be good. If people are running around with mountaintops and recluse and one-banging everyone and playing like assholes with these uncounterable, annoying weapons, no one is going to have a fun time. Right? At least I don't think so. So if they need to fix the sandbox and get things to be in a better state before they release something like Trials, I'm personally okay with it. I'd rather it be in a good state than just releasing it to release it. Because as it sits right now, I think Destiny PvP is in a pretty bad spot. And I'm frustrated that we haven't heard more of it. Maybe next season. But my god, does it seem like PvP is on the back burner or the side burner or not even on a burner cooking right now. I know that sounds rude to say, and maybe they're working really hard. They just don't have much to show or share right now. But as a predominantly PvP player, I'm feeling a bit frustrated with the game and not seeing these updates come a little bit sooner. Weapon changes and armor changes that should have happened months ago take years to complete. One-Eyed Mask has been a problem for ages. The Recluse has been a problem since it came out. And last season, it was somehow better because of different nerfs and changes to other weapons. The sandbox is almost always frustrating, and I hope that this gets cleaned up going into the new seasons, but as it sits right now, I don't have a ton of faith, and that is one thing I will, warn a lot of you PvP players about. Overall, there's some things to do. There's some things to achieve, there's some things to hunt down, and my plan is to hunt them down and showcase them. If there's a new gun, I'm chasing it. If there's a new armor piece, I'm getting it. If there's a new activity to complete, I'm making guides on it. I am here for as long as there is content, and I will go back to my goofy, live commentary, trolly videos in between. This season doesn't seem very dense, but maybe we'll be surprised with a secret here or there. As for the cost, as for what you're getting, if you love Destiny, I'm sure the $10 or whatever it is for the season, it's probably worth it. I mean, it's $10. That's less than a movie ticket, and you're probably going to get much more hours out of this and have a good time with the new activities. I recommend buying it because if you're a Destiny fan, you can't really go wrong on $10, but I could understand if you are trying to remain on a budget, you might want to be careful with your purchases. As for Season of Dawn, I am excited. I just don't know how long I'm going to be grinding it. That doesn't mean content stops, but it means I'm not going to be playing 24 hours a day like I did for Forsaken when it first came out, or even Shadowkeep when it first came out, because I was in love and there was new stuff to do and stuff to hunt. I really hope there is a vendor refresh thrown in there somewhere. I really hope there is some awesome gear to get from the Sundial, top tier meta picks. If not, I think there are going to be a lot of people that are frustrated with this season, which is kind of classic considering we're going back to Mercury and everyone hated Curse of Osiris, but I'll wait until then to give my full thoughts. I'm really hoping I'm surprised. I'm really hoping Bungie, pulls out all the stops, kicks some ass with it, and I am going to be playing it. I am excited. I just hope there's lots. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you soon, my friends. Bye-bye.